Let me just hit recording. Okay, hi, welcome to the Sacramento Film Plus Media Film Grant Panel Discussion 4.0. We're in our fourth round of grants. So I just wanted to welcome you here. My name is Jennifer West. I'm the Sacramento Film Commissioner. I'm just going to be here to facilitate the meeting. I did go through and checked all of the applications for eligibility, but did not score. Melissa, do you want to introduce yourself?
Greetings, everybody. My name is Melissa Muganzo. My pronouns are she, they, and sis, and I am the lead reader today and reviewing the grants, and I'm so excited to be here. Thank you to everybody who submitted a grant. It's an honor and a pleasure to be able to be here with you and support you through this process, and thank you for your artistry and your craftsmanship. And a little bit about me, I'm an entertainer here in Sacramento. I'm an actor, I'm a film producer, I'm a writer, I'm a content creator. But of all the things that I love to do, I love bringing art to Sacramento. So I'm excited to be here and support you. And I'll pass it over to my colleague, Olivia.
Wow, Melissa, that was an awesome introduction, difficult to follow. I am half of Circle B Productions here in Sacramento area. We have a production office in Citrus Heights. We started out doing live action films, and during COVID migrated over to 3D animation, which has become my addiction and passion. And if I don't get to animate every day, I get cranky. I love what the Film Commission is doing. I think that this program is fantastic. I feel privileged to have seen into so many productions that are going on, and so many applications. I encourage everybody to just keep at it. You never know where you're going to wind up, and have fun.
Great. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here. I could not do this without you wonderful volunteers. So thank you for being here and working so hard over the last 2 weeks. Okay, so I just want to say we're happy. I'm just going to do a little bit of reading and some housekeeping. We're happy to have you and encourage you to stay for as long as you can. It often helps to listen to several application reviews to understand how panelists are looking at applications and to hear their comments. We are asking all attendees to remain on mute. There is no public comment portion of these review meetings, and panelists are basing their reviews solely on what they see in the applications. If for whatever reason your application is being reviewed and you hear a misstatement about something that was written in the application, such as a number that is misstated but clearly correct in the application, you may then put a note in the chat and we will bring it to the attention of the panel. Also, you'll notice that we are going through these applications pretty quickly, as this is just a discussion process, but please know that the panelists have spent the last 2 weeks reviewing each application thoroughly. We will go through each application in order assigned, look at the treatment, and then ask the lead reader to introduce the artist or group. Then panelists may weigh in on the discussion and then finalize their scores. And once the scores are finalized, I will be in touch whether you receive a grant or you don't receive a grant, hopefully at some point tomorrow. Okay, so with that, let's get started with application number 1.
All right, that is assigned to me, and I believe this one is called The Craftsman of James County. I really appreciated reading the synopsis and really the blend of African-American literature and really Greek flair and Greek culture. And I also noticed that they were going to be highlighting Black poetry. And I thought that was something that we don't see often here in the Sacramento area. And I was really excited to read how they put that together. I also saw that their cast and crew was also really diverse, and that also made me really happy. And so I thought this was a great production, and I'm looking forward to seeing it all the way through.
Great, thanks. Olivia, do you have anything to add?
Great. Well, I echo what Melissa has said. I liked all of what she said. Um, I also think that this storytelling format is layered, and it draws from modern, classical, and avant-garde film techniques from various decades as well as cultures. I don't see a lot of that, and I love that. I think that this production will lend a note of high art to the Sacramento film scene. The one thing that I would tweak here or recommend is that they improve their definition of, or get more clear about who their audience is. Some of what they're attempting to do or doing may be a little inaccessible for a broad audience. But that would be my only critique, and I would encourage. I'm glad to see. I was glad to see this proposal.
Me too.
Great, thank you. All right, Olivia, would you like to introduce the next application, number 2?
Certainly. Let me get there. Okay. This is all of these, with about 2 or 3 exceptions, are production grants as opposed to post-production grants. This one in particular is called Sacramento Health Check. It just to excerpt from their description, Sacramento Health Check is a monthly 30-minute television and online broadcast program designed to address crucial health topics pertinent to residents of Sacramento County. The program aims to improve health literacy by providing accessible, engaging, and informative content produced in English and Spanish. It'll be interviews with experts, community stories, interactive segments, and practical health tips tailored for a diverse audience. It's designed to promote wellness as well as healthcare, and I'm big on that. I think that we all need to take ownership of our own well-being. So let's see. I'm looking for my review here. Bear with me just a moment.
Nice.
Okay. I think this is a great idea, and I could see how it could serve the Sacramento region and perhaps beyond. It doesn't necessarily have to reflect solely on Sacramento. The very nature of the project is designed to serve marginalized communities. I think that's great. The applicant does appear to be making a solo effort, and the proposal would benefit from broader engagement on the production side. I feel that they might want to secure some funding for the project beyond what they're applying for, and identifying some personnel to fill the crew positions identified. They've identified the crew positions, but they haven't let us know who they plan to hire. And that's it. Overall, I thought it was a great first attempt with some room for improvement on its feasibility, and I scored it accordingly.
All right, thank you. Okay, with that, we can move on to number 3. Melissa?
Yes. And I believe that one is Rising from the Black. Is that correct? Yes. So I really liked the graphics. That was the first thing that caught my eye. And then when I actually read through what the storyline was, I thought it was interesting to talk about family relationships and, you know, really the pressures that come with having certain type of environments. I also love that it touched on mental health and the relationship between, you know, parents and their children, and how not everybody's experience is the same. And I feel like it's something that can be really understood from a bunch of different communities, a bunch of different ages, and really a bunch of different backgrounds. And I was I was already reeled in just by reading the breakdown of the film. So kudos to the writer and the production team that is putting this together. And it's based on a true story, so that makes it even all more fun. So I really appreciated that, and I thought that that was something that we need to see here in Sacramento. And yeah, I scored it accordingly, so thank you.
Great.
Please
All right.
excuse my background here.
You're so blurry. Olivia, if you don't have anything to add, then we can move on to the next one.
I do want to add that I feel the proposal could be improved by giving more details that explain how their project could take on this massive scope of work with such minimal funding. it is an ambitious project. And it appears to have a built-in audience, that's from what I could glean. So that's cool. And I scored it accordingly.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let's move on to number 4.
Mhm.
Number 4 is that's you, Olivia, I think.
Yes,
Olivia.
I'm just gathering my notes. Thank
Oh,
you.
okay.
This is a documentary called The Right to Exist. This applicant has applied for a $10,000 production grant. The project is about the homeless condition in Sacramento. The log line is, in Sacramento, California, as throughout much of the state, the homeless population has exploded over the last few years, with more people now living on the streets of Sacramento than in the Bay Area. The Right to Exist will explore the human cost of homelessness for individuals experiencing it, the underlying causes of the crisis, and possible solutions. Pardon me. I liked it because, excuse me, I liked it a lot because the subject is compelling and socially relevant. The production values are very high. Film author offers solutions and not just problems. The applicants are seeking funding to finalize production of their feature-length documentary. The filmmakers and subjects of the documentary are members of marginalized communities. The project was begun in 2023 and is now nearly complete, and the work in progress reflects really superior production values. The proposal includes such sought-after information as fundraising progress to date. That's a big deal with me. Impact and score and scope of their subject matter, intended audience engagement, social impact. I thought it was really a very professional application and very thorough. And I have this ironic note. When viewed with a critical eye, it's difficult to find a way to improve this proposal. The number of hotel nights required is a bit low. But given the irony that this is a documentary about homelessness, I feel that the low number of hotel nights should not be factored into the weight of this proposal's worthiness. They were low on, anyway, I said what I had to say. Overall, I thought it was great, and I scored it accordingly.
Yeah, Olivia, I think you'll find, and I know this is your first time being a panelist, that a lot of the productions that apply for this grant won't have hotel rooms just because they're using so much local talent, right?
Mhm.
And that's it's kind of this trade-off. We ask, but we don't weigh it super high. It's
Okay,
the
that was
economic
entirely
benefit,
clear.
yeah, the economic impact in these grants are only weighed at 20%. So it's fairly low compared
Okay.
to, everything else that we're asking for in the grant. But yeah,
Okay.
great. Melissa, did you have anything else to add to number 4? Should we move on?
I just feel like this is a subject that we can't stop talking about enough. And every time somebody submits something around this subject, I'm always in full support because it just needs more advocacy. So I really appreciated that there was a really inclusive lens to this conversation. So kudos to the writer.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
All right, number 5.
Yes. Okay. So this applicant is creating a micro documentary on Chinese immigrants and the trends of immigration in Sacramento and the impact, and also putting it around really supporting Chinese community members and the way that they are able to build community. Or we'll talk about the history, the influence, the impact, the economic impact, the cultural impact, and the way that they have sustained throughout their time here in Sacramento. And there's also a lot of collaborative efforts, which I really appreciated. And so that to me is really important, especially in our political climate today. So I am proud of the writer for putting this together, and I really think that this will be great once completed.
Olivia, did you want to add anything?
Uh, yeah, I echo what Melissa said. I'd like to, on a personal note, Circle B Productions' first film was a short on a similar topic
Hmm.
involving Chinese immigration. This is dear to my heart. Having done the research for that film, I know that this is a really underrepresented topic, and I would love to see this approved.
Great, thank you. All right, moving on to number 6.
Here.
If you guys are paying attention, if anybody in the audience, the silence is because we have to flip back and forth between screens sometimes. So bear with us as there are pauses. Okay, Olivia,
Thank you,
whenever you're ready.
Great. This is a short film for entertainment. It's called Stuffed. Stuffed. Project is based on true events. The short film communicates the relationship of an adult to their inner child. The story navigates through a not so ordinary day of a woman who habitually suppresses her emotions. A child leaves her stuffed animal behind, and a woman goes to great lengths to get it back to her. The woman's journey reflects her own inner life. And the applicant says, exploding into her present expression of womanhood. I liked it because the story outlines is a bit vague, but the film clearly takes on the topic of the lived experience for women in our culture. Half the population, the filmmaker is a woman of color, adding to the richness of the storytelling. The details of production costs and scheduling were well thought out. I also appreciate the demonstrated abilities of the crew involved in this production. And the project promises to put a lighthearted, accessible spin on an often overlooked topic. The only thing I would like to see more of is in future submissions is to provide less mystique and more specificity about the project in their treatment. But overall, I thought it was a worthy submission and I scored it accordingly.
Thank you, Melissa.
Honestly, this hit close to home for me. I feel like as someone that's always discovering their inner child more as I get older, I like that somebody was highlighting that. And I used to love stuffed animals. So I just love this. I was really giddy just reading this. So
Awesome. All right, thank you, Melissa. We'll move on to number 7.
yes, Raven Motel. Yes. So, and please, if I missed this note on this breakdown, please let me know if they are joining us here today. But yes, The Raven Motel, it's a fantasy film, really related to Edgar Allan Poe, which was really, really cool. I saw that it was like some fun aspects, some fantasy aspects, but also really hitting on some heavy topics, which I appreciated. My note for this one is that there wasn't a lot of diversity in the cast and crew at Breakdown, which I know that's something that we like to amplify here in this process. So that would be my only feedback to really assess how we can incorporate more talent from diverse backgrounds to really amplify the process of getting this done.
Okay, Olivia, did you have any additional comments?
I echo what Melissa said. I think this could be a really fun film for Halloween time. Depending on how they treat it, it could be for all ages. I'm intrigued by the talking raven. How are they going to pull that off? I not as a criticism, but just as an intriguing challenge. I like the idea of a talking raven. Is it going to be? Are they actually going to have a tame raven that they teach to say these lines or overdub, or are they going to use visual effects or animation? At any rate, I thought it was a very good proposal and I scored it accordingly. And that's all I have to say.
Well, I guess you'll have to wait till the film comes out to find out.
Yeah, right.
We'll have to go to the premiere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for that. Okay, we are moving on to number 8.
I'm really proud of number 8. Really, really proud.
Oh, this is Hangtown. This is a documentary or docu-series. This project is about a woman who has the courage to challenge the continued use of Placerville's historical nickname, Hangtown. Legend has it that Placerville got its name Hangtown in 1849 when 3 foreign miners were lynched by vigilantes, one of the first recorded hangings in the West. A noose and hanging effigy have been incorporated into the city seal for the mostly white city. After the murder of George Floyd in 2020, the time was ripe to challenge this continued practice. Even so, the subject of this documentary faced intimidation and death threats for her advocacy. Hangtown, broadcasting on PBS in late 2025, early 2026, is a multi-layered look at racial injustice in the Golden State, whitewashed pioneer mythologies of the Old West, lingering racism, and generational trauma from land theft and discrimination, and the fight to reclaim a community story. So I like this proposal because the film is a timely story of courage, a woman facing down more than a century of racism and violence. It has rare gravitas, and it promises to be a uniquely compelling, important documentary to me. The project is robustly funded to date and is expected to receive national broadcast exposure via PBS. Yay. The one thing I would like to have in the submission, the links in the demonstration of experience section were a little flaky, but that is just a tiny tweak that I would have liked to see corrected. Overall, I thought it was just really solid, and it promises to be a powerful film, and I scored it accordingly.
Melissa, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, one of the things that is the most intriguing and really brings me the most pride is that there's not a lot of conversation about how racism and violence and torture was taking place in the western part of the United States. It's really always rooted in like the southern states, but it really was happening all over. And this really challenges that history and allows people whose voices who thought would ever go noticed be able to realize that their experience and their ability to survive really got a chance to be seen and celebrated. So I'm really, really proud of this, and I cannot wait for it to premiere. It is such a big deal.
Same. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to number 9. We have 15 applications total, so we are more than halfway through.
Yeah, number 9, geekdom. This is awesome. This is awesome. So this series explores Greek culture and also talks about just life out in Sacramento that doesn't really get a lot of coverage. Artistry, performer, cosplay, and we even have really large scale events here in Sacramento around geek culture and geek fandom. And so I was excited to see that somebody wanted to actually document what that life looks like for a lot of people that are interested in things like Comic-Con and things like that. So I definitely see this being really well received. I see this being something that will have tons of fun at the premiere. And I think it also gives a voice to a lot of people who feel like they may be in the shadows. So I was very, very excited to see this.
Excellent. Olivia, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I liked it. This is a local filmmaker who has an inclusive and unique perspective on the cutting edge of culture. I think that geek culture is the cutting edge. The crux of the applicant's proposal is summed up in this sentence. By showcasing real people, real artistry, and real community events, the series emphasizes that geek culture isn't niche, but rather a thriving and integral part of Sacramento's identity. We need more of that. I think it's great.
Totally agree.
Absolutely. All right, thank you. Number 10. Olivia.
Working. Okay. This is a documentary or docuseries called Humanity and the Mural, Volume 2. They applied for a $5,000 post-production grant. This project is about the vibrant process of mural creation in Sacramento, following artists from local and international communities as they transform public spaces into dynamic works of art. It also captures the broader Sacramento community's engagement, offering a glimpse into how art fosters dialogue, creativity, and a sense of belonging. I liked it because it's a local filmmaker who captured raw footage during the painting process, which I personally know can be really a painful and arduous and lengthy process. So bravo for just capturing that. So that in itself is expository. The post-production phase will include all the usuals, the editing, sound design, and narrative structure. And they hope to deliver a polished, impactful film. The quality of work submitted was definitely above average. I would have liked to see more prior work completed. What they submitted was one long film. It would have been great to see a little bit more variety. But overall, I thought it was very well considered submission, and I scored it accordingly.
Go ahead, Melissa, if you have anything to add. If not, we can move on to 11.
Yeah, I agree with Olivia. We can continue. Yes, number 11, movie or the treatment is called A Real One. It's a story about restorative justice and really, what happens to those that have been incarcerated. And when you are, provided an opportunity to get a second chance, all the struggles and the systematic ways sometimes oppression shows up when just trying to course correct. And I feel like this is a story that a lot of people can relate to when, early on in life, having a hiccup and trying to overcome that. And there's all these different things that can force you back into maybe behaviors or challenging ways that it really can bring you back to a place that you don't want to desire to be. And so, yeah, I was really intrigued on the way that they wrote this and was really inspired about the way they put very intentional pieces of the story together to bring out why this can be very challenging, but why stories like this are so needed. So I really, really enjoyed this, and I really, really hope that this comes to pass.
Olivia?
Yeah, I agree with Melissa regarding the subject matter. I'd like to add that the treatment is thorough and well thought out, and the project itself is full of visual metaphors, which I think elevates the storytelling to the level of art, or it could. I see the potential there for that. It's gritty, action-packed, and I like the pedigree of the personnel attached to the film. Overall, I thought it was compelling, and the submission itself was entertaining, and I scored it accordingly.
All right, thank you guys. Number 12, Olivia, you are the lead reader.
This is a TV or movie pilot, unscripted, called Keys to the Capital City. This project is a game show that, this is what I got out of it. It's a game show that focuses on the contestants' athleticism while showcasing the complexities of sustaining physical health in the face of modern obstacles. The production will engage local artists and talent to provide them support. I liked it because the filmmaker, who's from a marginalized community, indicated that the project will provide entertainment while exposing the realities of choosing to lead a healthy lifestyle in our current culture, which is really not geared toward health. And anybody who goes to the grocery store can see that. I think this will be a good representation of Sacramento. And overall, I thought it was a good concept and a thoughtful presentation.
Thank you for that. Melissa, did you want to add anything?
I agree. I feel like we need more game shows. So I was instantly excited about it. Like, we do need more game shows out here from Sacramento. So yeah.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Moving on to number 13. We are dangerously close to the end here, so let's not lose steam.
Okay, we're locked in. Yes, I believe this is from Algo Bueno Productions, and the storyline really hits on a queer, I think it's a queer Latina love story, rooted in the Northgate area, and that's exciting because there's a lot of rich history, a lot of rich culture in the Northgate area, and I think the story about love and culture and identity and relationships and emotions I'm always here for, and really talking about what it means to sustain relationships from being a child into being an adult. And so, yeah, I was excited to read this, and I really, really hope that this completes and we get invited to the premiere. It sounds like it's going to be a really like roller coaster ride of emotions just watching this take place, and I'm all about it. Plus, we've all been through a heartbreak, so we know what it's like in the roller coaster of being in love and falling out of friendship. So I'm just always here for stuff like that.
Thank you, Melissa. Olivia, anything else?
I agree, especially the part about the roller coaster ride,
Yeah.
and it sounds really engaging. I let's see, where am I? Give me a second.
No worries.
Oh, this is something that that I like. This is a post-production grant application. So I agree with everything Melissa said. She encapsulated it very well. I like it that the applicant has an understanding of the role that post-production plays in creating a successful film. They state that the editing process is crucial for balancing the film's comedy, drama, and emotional depth. Absolutely, that totally speaks to me, and I appreciate that. So overall, I thought it was an interesting concept, and I scored it accordingly.
Fantastic. Thank you. All right, number 14. Or did I say 14th? Oh my gosh, is it the afternoon? 14.
Hey, this is the title of the project is listed differently in two different places, but it's very close. It's either At American River or The American River. I like both. It's a documentary, um, feature-length documentary tracing the American River ecosystem from source to lower reach through intertwining lenses of natural history and human history. That grabs me. I like that. I like the proposal because the project showcases the beauty and essential nature of one of the key geographical and ecological features of our area. The applicant says the economic impact of this film will be felt far beyond the production as a showcase of our region for visitors and for pride of our community. Well said. I agree. I would have liked to see more than one clip in the demonstration of experience, maybe creating this filmmaker has an extensive bio, and it would have been great to see maybe a demo reel, given the scope of her body of work. I think it's great, and I'd love to see this go through.
All right. Melissa, did you want to add anything in this one?
No, I agree.
Okay. All right. And number 15, our last and final applicant.
The grand finale, huh?
The grand finale.
Ah,
Yes, grant number 15 was about caregiving. And as someone who has family members that really rely on caregivers, I have most recently seen how important caregiving is. And there's just not enough celebration for the people that sign up to serve as a caregiver. It really is an act of love, an act of courage. And it takes a lot of strength to do that, especially for people that are attached to the patient that they are supporting and you once knew them in a totally different capacity. So my heart really goes out to the writer, and I am so thankful that they are bringing a storyline like this to the forefront, because this hits one of those, it's one of those productions that hits everybody, no matter where you come from, economic status, cultural background, religious preference. This is something that hits everybody. And that's one of the things that kind of builds community and brings us all together. So thank you for your vulnerability, and thank you for this production. I'm very, very excited to see this finish.
Olivia, anything?
Yeah, I completely agree. This is an underrepresented story. I liked it because the project takes a frank look at something that's a little discussed and underappreciated. Um, I think the filmmaker's approach to making a film like this that could be so impactful with a really stringent budget is really innovative and clever. They're going to film this entirely in a car as they follow this person throughout their, or these people throughout their day. Wow, what I mean, that just is um thoroughly engaging and relatable, and I liked it. I think it's irresistible, and I scored it accordingly.
Yeah, the way they plan to shoot this is really, really just interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't really see stuff taught like that. So I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it.
All right. Okay, well, that concludes all of the applications. So panelists, now, if there were any changes that you wanted to make by any discussion that was brought up, you can, you have about the next 5 to 7 minutes to go back and make any changes to your scoring before we tally the scores. So once again, applicants, thank you so much for joining us today. To the panelists, I can't thank you enough for your volunteer time and hours that you put into this. I so appreciate you. Everybody that's here or not here, please expect to get an email through Submittable once we have an opportunity to score the applications. And we will let you know whether you received a grant or you didn't. I just want to remind you that if you do not receive a grant this round, please, please, please contact me. Let's go through your application, maybe see what we can do to increase your score next time. So feel free to reach out. I'm at jcwest@cityofsacramento.org. You can also find me on our website at filmsac.com. All right, everybody, thanks so much for being here. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.